The galaxy thought Earth was weak. The Council promised protection, then betrayed us, leaving humanity to burn. But when Earth's fleets returned, forged in the fires of betrayal, they brought with them not mercy, but total annihilation. This is the story of vengeance. This is the story of the day humanity rose from ashes and made the stars tremble. For centuries, the Galactic Council proclaimed itself the protector of order. A vast alliance of civilizations, they claimed to stand for peace, justice, and unity. When humanity was first discovered, barely a century into the stars, the Council approached with warm words and open hands. "Join us," they said. "Your place among the stars will be secure. No harm shall come to you, for you will be under our protection." Earth agreed. Humanity bent to the treaties, paid the tariffs, followed the regulations. We offered our science, our labor, our culture. We believed in their promise. The first test came when the Zerath Dominion, an expansionist empire of warlike reptilians, demanded Earth's resources. By treaty, the Council should have defended us. By oath, they should have stood at our side. But in the Council chambers, voices whispered of convenience, of sacrifice for stability. Earth was new, weak, expendable, and so the Council betrayed us. They signed the Concordat of Silence, allowing the Dominion to administer Earth's colonies in exchange for peace elsewhere. The day the treaty was announced, humanity realized the truth. The Council was not a shield. It was a knife in the back. The Dominion came swiftly. They struck Mars first, burning the shipyards in orbit. They struck the outer colonies, enslaving entire populations. And then they came for Earth itself. Cities burned in orbital bombardments. Skies filled with fire. Billions died. The Council did nothing. They watched from afar as the Dominion's warfleets turned our home into a graveyard. And yet humanity did not die. From bunkers, from ruins, from shattered fleets, survivors swore an oath. Never again would we trust the Council. Never again would we kneel. And one day when we returned, it would be with fire. Not all of Earth's ships were destroyed. A fraction, scarred and burning, escaped into the void. Led by Admiral Helena Stroud, they called themselves the Exodus Fleet. What began as a ragged convoy of refugees became something far greater. In hidden shipyards among asteroid belts, in secret forges on distant moons, the Exodus Fleet rebuilt. They scavenged Dominion wrecks, reverse-engineered alien weapons, and fused them with human ingenuity. Our ships became brutal machines, uglier, harsher, but deadlier than anything the galaxy had seen. Generations passed. Children born among the stars grew into soldiers with one purpose: vengeance. And so humanity waited, silent, hidden, until the time was right. A century later, the Council sat in their grand chamber, smug in their authority. The Dominion had grown arrogant, demanding more tribute, threatening Council worlds. The counselors debated endlessly, their voices rising in fear. "Perhaps we should call upon the humans," whispered one. "They were destroyed," sneered another. "A lost species, nothing more than ash." But reports had begun to surface. A Dominion convoy ambushed and annihilated in deep space. A fortress world burned to slag. A survivors speaking of dark, angular warships flying under a single banner: Earth. The Council ignored the warnings. They had betrayed humanity once. Surely we were gone. They were wrong. The Dominion fortress world of Varos was a jewel of their empire. Armored moons ringed the planet, its skies patrolled by endless fleets. Fell in less than a day. The Exodus Fleet descended like wolves, their ships cloaked in silence until the moment they struck. Missiles rained down like meteors, splitting defense grids apart. Human boarding parties, suited in black, faces hidden behind mirrored visors, tore through Dominion warships with ruthless efficiency. When the smoke cleared, Varos was gone. Its fleets reduced to wreckage. Its governors executed. And across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humanity had returned. Alien broadcasts carried the same whispered phrase: "The Terrans are back." Some called us ghosts. Some called us demons. Others called us Avengers. But one thing united them all: fear. Because unlike the Dominion or the Council, humanity did not fight for conquest. We fought for memory. We fought for vengeance. We fought until the enemy was nothing but ash. And everywhere we struck, survivors told the same story. The humans did not forgive. The humans did not forget. The Council could no longer ignore us. In an emergency session, they debated endlessly. Humanity has become a danger, one counselor hissed. They are destabilizing everything. They must be contained. But another, trembling, whispered the truth. We betrayed them, and now they have returned. They will not stop with the Dominion. They will come for us. Panic spread. For the first time in centuries, the great council chamber was filled with fear. Admiral Stroud's name was spoken like a curse. Humanity's fleets were spoken of like nightmares. And still they pretended control. Still they thought themselves safe. They were wrong. The Dominion, enraged by the loss of Varos, gathered its grand armada, 500 ships strong. They believed numbers would save them. They believed power would shield them. But the Exodus fleet was waiting. At the edge of the Cryos expanse, the two forces met. The Dominion's ships advanced in perfect formation, a wall of steel and fire. The humans answered with chaos. Warp strikes ripped holes through the Dominion lines. Hidden minefields detonated across their flanks. Human warships, scarred but relentless, drove straight through the heart of the Armada. The battle raged for days. And when it ended, the Dominion's Grand Armada was no more. Their empire began to collapse. With the Dominion burning, the Council grew desperate. They reached out to Admiral Stroud. Humanity, they said, let us stand together. We will aid you now. We will support your war. But the reply that came was cold and merciless. You promised to protect us. You betrayed us. You watched Earth burn. Now, when the fire has come for you, you beg for mercy. No, we are not your shield. We are your reckoning. For the first time, the Council realized the truth. They had not only lost humanity's trust. They had earned humanity's wrath. World by world, the Dominion fell. Humanity showed no mercy. Entire fleets were annihilated. Capitals burned. Chains shattered. The enslaved were freed, and every alien species that had once been trampled by the Dominion looked up to see human warships blazing in the night sky. To some, humanity became saviors. To others, monsters. But to all, they were a force unstoppable. As the Dominion crumbled, whispers spread in the Council's halls. What happens when the humans finish their war? They will come for us next. They remember everything. And they were right, because humanity's vengeance was not just for the Dominion. It was for the betrayal that had condemned Earth to fire. The Council's time was coming. The Dominion's death was not quick. Humanity made sure of that. From fortress worlds to shipyards, from slave planets to palaces, the humans struck without hesitation. The Dominion had enslaved billions. Now, billions rose in revolt, armed with weapons smuggled by humanity, guided by human tacticians. On the world of Grither, human marines and freed slaves stormed the Capitol Tower, dragging the governor into the streets. They didn't execute him with a blade or a plasma rifle. No, he was torn apart by the very people he had enslaved. On Zirin Prime, Dominion nobles attempted to flee in luxury barges. Human warships intercepted them, disabling their engines. Broadcasts went across the system as human soldiers read out every atrocity committed by the nobles, before jettisoning them into space, one by one, for their victims to watch. It wasn't just war. It was judgment. And soon, the Dominion was no more. The Council, desperate, gathered in secret. We must act now, said Chancellor Rel, her voice trembling. If humanity turns on us, we are finished. We could ally with them, suggested one timidly. No, another snapped. They do not forgive. They do not forget. We betrayed them once, and for that, they will never trust us again. So what then? The answer was silence. Until one voice spoke. We must destroy them, before they destroy us. And so the Council prepared its betrayal a second time. The Council gathered fleets from dozens of member worlds. Hundreds of ships. Dozens of species. At Cartho's reach, they laid the trap. Humanity's fleets, bloodied but victorious after the Dominion's fall, were lured with false signals, cries for help, forged distress calls. When the Exodus fleet arrived, the trap was sprung. From every angle, Council warships descended. Thousands of plasma beams cut through the void. Human vessels burned. For a moment, it seemed the Council had won. For a moment, it seemed humanity would finally be extinguished. But the Council forgot one thing. Humans do not die quietly. Admiral Helena Stroud, scarred and weary but unbroken, stood on the bridge of the Unis Retribution, her eyes cold as steel. "They've chosen their fate," she said. "Signal the fleet. No survivors." And humanity unleashed its fury. Carriers disgorged swarms of fighters armed with nuclear warheads. Destroyers rammed enemy vessels, detonating reactors point-blank. Human cruisers, bristling with railguns and missile batteries, turned the void into a storm of fire. Council fleets shattered under the onslaught. Their neat formations crumbled into chaos. One Council commander screamed over the comms, "They fight like demons. Even in death they will drag us down." And he was right. By the end of the battle, half the Exodus fleet was gone. But the Council armada was annihilated. There was no more illusion of peace. No more pretense of unity. Humanity set a course for the Council's heartworlds. System by system, they cut a path of fire. Council fleets tried to resist, but their morale was broken. Their will was shattered. Everywhere they went, human fleets broadcast a single message. "We remember your betrayal. We remember Earth's burning skies. You promised to protect us. You delivered us to slaughter. Now you will answer for it." The Council's capital, Orus Prime, was a shining world of glass towers and endless wealth. It became a graveyard. The Exodus fleet arrived in force. Dreadnoughts the size of mountains descended into orbit. Missiles rained down in endless storms. The Council's planetary shields buckled. Their fleets tried to hold, but humanity's rage was unstoppable. For 3 days, Orus Prime burned. Cities turned to ash. Oceans boiled. The Council's proud capital became rubble. And then, as survivors crawled from the wreckage, humanity landed. Admiral Stroud walked into the shattered Council chamber, her boots echoing across marble floors cracked by bombardment. The surviving councilors cowered, trembling, their once proud robes torn and filthy. "You betrayed us," Stroud said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were cold fire. "You signed away Earth. You watched us burn. And then, when we rose from the ashes, you betrayed us again." One counselor fell to his knees. "Please, spare us. We had no choice." "No choice." Stroud's voice was a whisper of death. "You always had a choice. You chose yourselves. You chose cowardice. You chose treachery. And now your choices are ended." With a signal, human soldiers moved in. The counselors were dragged from their chamber, their pleas echoing in vain. And outside, before the eyes of a galaxy, the council was executed. Humanity did not stop with Orus Prime. Every council stronghold was targeted. Every fleet, every outpost. In a campaign of relentless annihilation, humanity wiped the council from existence. Planets that once lorded over Earth now burned under Earth's guns. Species that had once sneered at humanity's weakness now bowed in terror before their wrath. The council was not merely defeated, it was erased. And in the silence that followed, one truth became clear. Humanity was no longer a species to be pitted, or betrayed, or dismissed. They were a force of nature. When the fire was done, humanity did not take the council's throne. They left the ashes behind. But they carved one warning into the stars, written in ruins and wreckage, carried by the terrified whispers of survivors. "Do not betray them. Do not chain them. Do not strike at Earth. For if you do, they will come. And when they come, they will bring annihilation." And so the galaxy learned. The Council believed betrayal was a weapon. The Dominion believed conquest was strength. Both were wrong. For the deadliest weapon in the galaxy was not fleets or firepower. It was humanity's memory. Because humans never forget. Humans never forgive. And when betrayed, when cornered, when left with nothing but ashes, They will rise, they will strike, and they will annihilate everything in their path.